Right. Hi, everyone. Are you guys, everyone ready to begin? Okay. I hope everyone's having a great day today. Thank you for joining us for our annual Happy Discovery of Korea event for overseas adoptees. For many years, Donghua Cultural Foundation has organized these events to share traditional Korean culture with adoptees, families, and communities. Founded in 2003, Donghua Culture Foundation is a nonprofit organization that strives to promote Korean and East Asian cultures within American society through educational programs on traditional Korean music, arts, dance, and food. Um, Through a collaborative exchange of Eastern and Western cultures, we aspire to raise a deeper awareness and understanding of the diverse cultural makeup of our modern day society. I would like to acknowledge our partnership with Sylvia Wald and Po Kim Gallery. And we would also like to thank our sponsors, the Consulate General of the Republic of Korea in New York and the Korean Adoption Services. So today we have a very special series of events as part of our program. We have three incredible instructors and we're presenting a gallery tour, musical performance, and cooking class for you guys to experience. So the gallery tour of contemporary art will be given by adjunct professor Dr. Soo Jung-hyun of Montclair State University. She's developed her career as a program organizer for many years. She's a lecturer and researcher in the New York arena, and she embraces the intersections between Eastern and Western culture. Dr. Hyun has worked with Donghua Culture Foundation in the past for many years as a program coordinator and organizer. The Korean traditional musical performance will be given by Jung Hyo, a Korean music artist of Garagyum. She's been teaching as an instructor at Donghua Culture Foundation for many years. The Korean cooking class will be taught by Kate Cook, who is the founder of Kimchi Cooks, a Brooklyn-based kimchi producer. She contributes to introducing Korean kimchi to local markets in the United States and promoting Korean traditional food culture in many communities. So next week, next Saturday, just to let you guys know, we have an event this coming Saturday on the 19th. We will be hosting another event for the series of Happy Discovery of Korea at the Sylvia Wald and Po Kim Gallery via Zoom, which includes a gallery tour of the current exhibition, Paper Contemplations, a Korean traditional Hanji paper exhibit with the artist. And that's going to be given by Dr. Soo Jung-hyun, adjunct professor at Montclair State University. And we are also going to be presenting a Korean tea ceremony with Dr. Young Mi-ha, who is an adjunct professor at New York University. So to come to that event, we really encourage you guys to RSVP to register because you'll be receiving a complimentary teacup and tea leaves to enjoy from your home for this event. So please share this event with your families, friends, other adoptees, and anyone who's in your community who might be interested in joining. So I will turn this over to our first teacher, and thank you guys so much for joining.
Hi, my name is Kei Gu. I'm a kimchi maker and chef. So today I would like to introduce two of most popular Korean dish, kimchi jjigae and kimchi jang. They are very easy and simple, but everyone makes differently. So I will show you way I cook kimchi jjigae and kimchi jang. So I'm gonna introduce the beautiful assistant. She's gonna do by herself.
My name is Kathia, and I will be assisting Kate in these dishes. If you have any questions, feel free to type in the chat, and our virtual assistants Greta and Woo-jae are going to be answering them. If you have any further questions on these dishes, please feel free to email us at hello@kimchicook.com.
Thank you. So, first of all, I'm gonna start to make a kimchi jjigae. And so I have some pork belly today, but it doesn't matter if you any part of pork, so you can use it. But and then, also the veggie option is so you can use the mushroom or tofu, but sometimes you can use both. So, and I have a pork belly here, and the first I clean the pork belly in cold water and chop it by size, or mushroom and the for veggie option. And put in the small size of ceramic bowl. If you don't have a ceramic bowl, it doesn't matter, any kind of regular small to medium pot. You can use it there. And I will try to marinate this one. And 1 teaspoon of soy sauce. And 1 teaspoon of cooking wine. And you can use same for veggie option, but it's cooking. You don't need the cooking wine for mushroom. And then 1 teaspoon of Korean dry red chili pepper. But if you don't have it, you don't have to use it. And because kimchi has the dry red chili pepper, and we call the gochugaru. That's why if you don't have, you don't have to use it. And then half spoon of sugar, and mix well. Now start cooking the pork on the medium heat. And that is, start cooking the pork and until halfway done. And now I will add kimchi on top, about 10 ounces. And cook 2 or 3 minutes. After that, we can add 2 cups of cold water. And bring it to boil. Now we have to wait on a couple more minutes and bring it to boil. You have to cook, very low temperature and cover it. It's a high temperature. So Meantime, we're gonna start the kimchi 전 right now. And half cup of rice flour. If you don't have a rice flour, it doesn't matter. You can use the regular flour. So half cup of regular flour and 3/4 of water. And whisk well. And we need around 4 ounces of kimchi. Chop the small size. And put in the small size of bowl. And half teaspoon of sugar, and mix. And pour into the batter and mix. So if you have some kimchi juice, so you can put in here. And in the pan, any non-stick pan is okay, but you can put the plenty canola. I use the canola oil, but whatever you like, you can use it. And just waiting for the heat of the pan. This is a high temperature. The high temperature, but you don't have nothing. Is it okay? So the same way the veggie option is the batter is the same way, but you can use the mushroom for on top of the batter. Today, I want to use some piece of pork belly for kimchi 전. So once oil is hot, pour the kimchi mix evenly. And add some piece of pork belly top of the john. And let's cook on side. The edge is crispy. Okay. And this one. This one is the kimchi jjigae with mushroom. This one is the kimchi jjigae with pork belly. You can use the spatula. No, not that one. So, spatula. You can use this. So I'm waiting for the edge is crispy, but still not yet. The kimchi jjigae is almost done, but it's not enough. So now I want to flip the other side. 아니야.
이렇게 있어서 굽는 거. 어떻게 생각해요? 이게 가리고 있어서 특별히. 전부 다 들어있어.
Once both sides are crispy, the serve on a plate, but it's still not enough crispy. So be careful, Sarina. I want to check the other side right now. So nice and crisp. I want to make more crispy the other side, the few minutes, and then we can serve on a plate. I want to show the kimchi jjigae when it's boiled, but as I can touch in the pot, it's too hot. Maybe I can show you some boiled pot. The kimchi jjigae is almost done. So right now, turn off the flame, and we can serve with the rice.
All right, so thank you guys for participating or observing, and thank you so much to our instructors. We're gonna move on to the next portion of our, yes, round of applause. We're gonna move on to the next part of our program, which will be the musical performance given by Jung Hee Oh, and hope you guys enjoy.
Hello. 중중이야 춤매산이 돌아철이 시내는 정산으로 들고 대월물이 정골물이 팔팔 열두 골물이 한 대로 합수천천 막는 지방령을 덕저구정 강물이 펑금져서 건너 경풍성에 나 아주 방마유 때려 삼이 물렁거려 나간다 가자 날 앞마도 내로구나 이런 경치가 또 있나 앞마도 내로구나 이런 경치가 또 있나 새가 날아든다 맹가 잡새가 날아든다 새 중에 동방새 안성은 전대 풍년새 산고국심 무인처럼 울림 종무새 허리도 누나 달대장을 지어 상내 날아든다 알잘 하는 앵무새 춤잘 추는 학구름이 쑥행 쏙 맹맹이 뚜레로 대천 해배고 소로이 남풍조차 떨트나 육만장천기 운간이 난게 시사 산초야 일봉왕새 유란이게 우리 분맘 울두나는 공자이 산역벽 10월야가 마르상집에 가니 외모가님 계신데 소신 전투냉무새 글자를 네가 천하리 가인 이러니 주된 냉매이 뚜레로 대천 배우 소리에 소리로 뚜레로리로 다녀오른다 저 녹새가 부른다 산으로 가면 저 산으로 가면 다녀오른다 저 투별미가 오네 야월 공산 깊은 밤에 기억저 두려운 온다 저두려운 온다 야월 공산 깊은 밤에 저두려운 온다 산으로 가면 저 산으로 가면 다녀오른다
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. So thank you to everyone for your participation. That was a wonderful performance, and I believe everyone enjoyed that very much, so thank you so much. So we're going to move on to the next portion of our program, and that will be a gallery tour of contemporary art, and that will be given by adjunct professor Dr. Soo-Jung Hyun.
Good afternoon. My name is Soo-Jung Hyun. My gallery tour will be take for around 20 minutes, and then I like to make a Q&A time so our audience to join this Zoom. Please keep joining this event continually. Okay, now let me start. I'm talking with you at the Sylvia and the Po Kim Gallery, which is near New York University and Cooper Union on the edge of the East Village. This building at the 417 Lafayette Street is where Po Kim had his studio and living space with his wife Sylvia Wald since late 1980s. Today, I'll speak of the Korean contemporary art through the work of the artist Po Kim. In the course of the rapid development during the second half of the 20th century, Korean art has embraced various Western trends and techniques. Korean contemporary art revealed the diverse issues of Korean society in relation to the intimate characteristic of the Koreans as well. Korean attitude toward this culture and everyday life were taking a new importance. In this context, I'd like to look into Po Kim's work as a playing distance role in his history, in the history of the Korean art. Po Kim is recognized as a master among Korean American artists in New York in 1960s. He represents the first generation of Korean artists. He came to New York in 1957. That is earlier than Nam June-baek and Hwang Ki-kim. And his artistic career prolonged for nearly 60 years. Instead of committing himself to a single school of art, Po continually explored various styles of art and subject matters. He developed styles after Expressionism in 1960s, and he pursued hyper-realistic idioms in the 1970s. And then he explores huge size of the paintings with abstract expressive brushstroke and figurative images in the 1980s and 1990s. Finally, in the last period of his work, Po settled his independent style of the Expressionism. He wanted to portray his life and the pure inner self with more free and broad interpretations. Today, this gallery, the building, the fifth floor, I brought 5 pieces of his, mainly the 5 pieces of the work his last period. But another 2 pieces is from his early period in 1960s. Po's diverse body of the work filtered expressive release of his trauma from ideological conflict in Korea between his past memory and present moment. His work reveals a progressive journey toward the sublime haven. This subsequent stylistic transformation reveals some extraordinary moment to create his artwork. I met Po Kim in 2007. He was 90 years old. Before he passed away on February 7, 2014, that means it's now how many years? almost 7 years. Yeah, he's gone. During the period, I participated in several projects for him. First thing, there was a documentary produced by Korean broadcast MBC. And second thing, Paul Kim's catalog raisonné, 3 volumes. The volumes published by Joseon University in Korea. Joseon University is a very long relationship with Paul Kim still. There is his museum. The museum is the name with his wife, the Sylvia Wald Paul Kim Museum in Joseon University campus. So someone who lives in Korea or visit Korea would visit the museum. You can see his several period different paintings. Today, I'm going to focus on the last period of his work. I made the title, Today's Gallery Tour, Paul Kim, Freedom and Art. I hold 2 major issues. It holds 2 major issues that were concerned and interact throughout his life. In order to have art, human beings need freedom. The 2 go together. If there are no significant art, there is no real freedom. As we study these various developments, Paul used to express his point of view in the dialogue between freedom and art. Now, let's move to his work. In this room, as I said, the 2 early period of work and then 5 pieces is much last period of his work. So I'm not sure our audience can see the 2 works. Please a little move the camera. Thank you so much. Yeah. The 2 abstract works represent Paul's early period in New York around 1961-62. I recall a chance to visit his early work with Paul. One time I visited his studio at the time during make the documentary. He opened his old drawers. He showed his old abstract paintings on the paper. So this is made on the paper oil paint. The very freely gestured stroke, you can see. The size is generally like the 19 by 24, very modest size. In some case, he made much smaller than this size, almost less half size. In the drawer, it's like the discovery, the treasure. So there were around 200 pieces in this series. At the time, not only me, Paul also very impressed what he has done around 50 years ago. So this period of work in 1960s in United States, the abstract expressionism very popular. When he moved to New York, that in 1979, he naturally follow the abstract expressionism. So like this style work, the art historians generally evaluate as being influenced by the abstract expressionists like the de Kooning and Franz Klein. However, this work is also strongly connected with his Korean background, like Asian brush painting, especially calligraphy. So the two paintings shows his very distinguished control of the brush. So the line is not a straight on one kind of line. Some part very lightly touched on the paper, but some part very strongly push the paper. You can see, so you can feel the speed and action of the artist who hold the brush. In doing so, Poe, this painting presents expression of his inner spirit. So generally, Asian term, the follow the qi, is some Chinese term is qi. Can I move this painting? This is today the last period of work, one of the earliest paintings. This painting is made in 2000. This painting is made in 2001. The title, this is 2009. 2009. The title is the Rain of the Colors. So because the dripping, the floating image reminds the raining. This painting was made in 2009. Poe had returned to his independent abstract style, connected with the previous I introduced that, his early work from 1960s. Upon viewing this work, he employs several elements involving the use of the dripping. Can I a little go back? The dripping and floating vertically. I'm sorry, a little thirsty. Okay, sorry. There is, when you see, there's no any figurative images, but there are after images from container visual forms, such as like the circle ovals, the oval-shaped circles, and then only the colored shape. That is the reference, the human body and nature. Especially when I looked at this painting, the left side, this image a little remind kinds of human beings, the body, or like that. The dripping and floating painterly effect create the vertical lines, and whereas the oval, circle, and then the curved shape appears to move to horizontally. So vertical and horizontal, they make a harmony that is very Asian way to understand. So also when you see this painting, he used very primary and secondary color, like orange, green, and red, that kinds of things. So they merged together, floating form, and then revealed all kinds of the transcendence landscape. So compared with previous, 50 years ago, when he came to New York, he was influenced of some abstract expressionism. But 50 years later, through several different styles of the art, experimental works, and then he much achieved his own independent abstract style. And now I'm going to move the other two works. These two works is much connected with his work around 1980 or 90s, the so-called some figurative images or allegorical images in his work. In the late 1980s or 90s, Poe painted like hybrid images, include both abstract and figurative forms. There are, you can see some animal images in his painting. You hear birds and tigers and rabbits. We can see elephants. His painting, we can see the elephants and horses. And beside it's the image of the prince. Not here, but other paintings generally. There are no boundary between figures and natures in this period of the painting. The images also combine, he used the kinds of the abstract the gestures and very free brush stroke. So this period combined abstract and figurative together. The Barbara London, she was the MoMA curator. She noted the work of this period of the Po Kim expressed the Arcadia of Po Kim. the background in which he convinced that these poems appears relation to the change of his life. That means during the period, Poe moved to this building. As I said at the beginning time, this building is the 417 Lafayette Street. He moved here, and then he had a huge size of the the large size of the studio, and now he could make the large paintings. And also, he traveled a lot. So while traveling around the world with his wife Sylvia, to places like India, Nepal, and Mexico, he traveled a lot. He took many impressions from these trips, and he also, many people couldn't know well, he had a very wonderful country house in Westchester. So there, I went there one time. There's a beautiful pond, landscape. He planted so many trees. He made his kinds of the paradise in his real life. So when you went there, friends, wild animals, birds, they are all Poe's friends. So he didn't want to divide the kinds of the whole nature's source into in his painting. In addition, in this building, the garden on the rooftop is a place Poe's kinds of he spent time when he would feel free. Also, he released from his daily life things. So Poe's work not only imaginary figures, so his real life's experience, his kinds of the observation of the nature, and then he sublimed of the energy of the nature into his painting. So Poe's painting widely interact elements from a poetic and very intuitive perspective. The images are combined between human being and nature, regain balanced world. Compared to two painting is made in 2001, in this one 2006. This one is much connected to his imaginary figure, the memory from his past. After trip or country life, so all things is represented through the work. We can think about that. And other this painting title is the Pride Sword, made in 2006. I think at that time, Poe had a show in Korea and revisit his hometown, and then he present his nostalgia to his homeland. So like the two birds, his missing the place, especially when he was young. He couldn't live with his mother. He always deeply missing sense of the emotion, his mother. So also the bottom part, we can see the image of the sea, ocean, or other water base. But it's the upper part in below part is divided of the color, but all the different kinds of the shapes, over shapes in upper part and lower part in kinds of spread. So my understanding this work is the Poe's many different gesturally or abstract poem kinds of the converted in this painting. Also, when I see this painting closely, there are many layers. So let me say one thing about Poe. Poe generally he didn't want to sign on his painting. As I said, around the 1960s painting, we discovered around 200 pieces. At that time, the almost work was not signed. Signed. So Poe, why he didn't sign his painting? Because the paperwork we couldn't change, but normally the canvas work, he wanted to change a lot. I went to his studio. One day he painted some kinds of the image, and several days later I visited again. And then when I looked at the same canvas, this surpassed the previous painting. 선생님, Pokim, I called 선생님. 선생님, where is your image? What you made it? Oh, I don't like. So he kinds of erased and the previous image and then repaint again. So let me go back again. Why he did that? Again, it kinds of repeat this, retouched on the same canvas. When he was in New York, the beginning time, he was very, very poor artist. He didn't have enough money to buy canvas art materials. So he tried to exercise on the same canvas and repeat. Anyway, that's my memory about him. Now I'm going to move the last part of the in this gallery. There are two pieces. One is the title is the red space. The other is the title is the untitled. This is the last work in last part of almost the last part of his work, made in 2013. This work made in 2018. Can you see difference from this work and this work? And can you see some similarity with this work and this work? So this work, both two paintings, he mainly used paper cut or colored tapes. This part are little like the same with the dripping scale, but he doesn't make any things more figurative things. Especially this work, he can make the foundation red color, but he doesn't use any brush stroke. So, as I said to you, his early painting, abstract expressionism painting, he's expert about how to control the brush. But now he stopped. He gave up to use the brush. What the meaning? I thought about that. So one day I visited him. I had a chance. I had the opportunity to talk with Paul about his work, like this period. He said art for him was not getting away from familiar. So he doesn't want to follow what he already used to, what he already familiar. He can't control everything. He doesn't want to do that. He always take new challenges. That's the reason he started abstract expressionism and then moved to very precise, hyper-realistic paintings, and then moved to another style, abstract and figurative combined. And then last part, he a little returned to abstract painting, but not exactly go back to the past. He tried to other way. So like these paintings, so-called tape paintings, or especially this work, the title is the red space. So at the critic or some people I heard that Paul, he's influenced by Matisse. He admired Matisse. So this work is kind of a mimic about the Matisse work. You can think about the Matisse, the red studio, all the background, the color is red. But he tried also the skill of the cutout skill is from the Matisse, his last period. But I like to understand the different way. So as I said to you, his skill control brush is kind of the expert, outstanding, but he doesn't want to follow the skill itself. He, through this tape, he couldn't present any his brush skill. He'd like to new challenge how to manage this painting without the expert, the brush skill. So I like to understand that represent Paul's idea of the freedom. So what is the freedom? freedom is not always about expressing one's desire directly. To explain meaning of the freedom, we are given obeying our own rules. His rule, he doesn't want to follow familiar thing. That I think that is his rule as artist, real artist. It's not expressed to others. The exceptional and ordinary artist is precisely what interested Pokim, no matter what style of the choice. He depends his right to make art according to his point of view. Freedom is an endless pursuit for what Poe believed in an artist to be. Thank you. So if you have any questions.
All right. So if anyone has any questions or if everyone feels concluded, we would like to introduce the next event that we're hosting on Saturday the 19th at 3 p.m. At the Sophia Walden Poe Kim Gallery via Zoom. We will have the next series of the Happy Discovery of Korea event, and which will include a gallery tour of paper contemplation, Korean traditional Hanji paper artist with Dr. Sujun Hyun. And thank you, Sujun, for the amazing tour that we had today. So Dr. Yumi Ha is an adjunct professor at New York University, and she will be organizing and leading the Korean tea ceremony that will follow the tour of the gallery. If we don't have any questions from anyone, we're going to conclude. And thank you so much to our instructors, to Sylvia Wald Poe Kim Gallery, and thank you to all the organizers on the Dohwa Cultural Foundation. So, and thank you for our participants. It was really a pleasure to host everyone today. And please don't forget to register for our next event series, which will be next Saturday. So thank you so much, everyone. And it was lovely to see you guys today.
Thank you.
Thank you.